Hey everyone, Allison here. This is Pause Let's Chat and welcome to my channel. Alright, today I just want to jump back to some basics. I don't want to leave anything out on this channel, so I feel like it has to be talked about. So I want to show you all and talk about the proper techniques of holding your scissors and scissoring while you're working on a dog. It's a very important, and a lot of people actually hold their scissors incorrectly and they don't even know it, so why not chat about it, right? Cool, let's get started. So holding your scissors correctly is going to make a big difference in your groom. I know a lot of people can scissor and it come out phenomenal with their hands not in the right place, and honestly I don't know how they do it. But it's also, I can't imagine the wear and tear it adds to your joints because this is already hard enough. So the proper way you want to hold your scissors are with your ring finger and your thumb. A lot of people want to put like their pointer finger in here or their middle finger in here, right? That's totally gonna screw you up. You actually want to put your ring finger in the bottom slot where you have your pinky rest, okay? You might have scissors that are double sided, which are called flippers. Here's one. And they have rests on either side. So that's just going to depend if you're right-handed or left-handed, which side you're going to put your finger through. So for these, I'm right-handed and it has the pinky rest right there. So you only want to go to like your first knuckle. So when you put that in there, you really don't want to go further than right about there. A lot of people make the mistake and try and be like this, and you've lost all control of your scissor. You just want to go straight to your first knuckle, all right? And then your pinky finger goes boom, right there. And then these fingers perfectly go right around there. And then your thumb kind of comes in. See if I can video this. Right there. So it's kind of on the bottom inside, and if you notice, my thumb is not all the way through, right? It's not like all the way in there, okay? It's just barely pushing on the scissor there. I don't know if y'all can hopefully see that well enough. It is just barely, and honestly my thumb isn't even in the hole. My nail slides through. But that's why I have these awesome huge finger grips. I'll link where you can find them below. So once you're holding your scissors the right way, it's important to know how they work. Okay, so the reason your thumb is not all the way through and you're just going up and down is because to make your scissors actually cut, you have to apply pressure with your thumb in this direction while staying still with your bottom hand, okay? So I'm going to actually use my thumb and press that way as I shut. And that's what's going to give you the momentum to cut the hair. Because your tension on your scissors, honestly, should not be tight at all. You should be able to kind of move your scissors around. I've always been told that if you hold your scissors out, you want to be able to kind of like have them teeter, right? But not slam shut on this end. So they don't slam shut, they just kind of teeter, but they do have movement, all right? So you don't want it to like come and just stick, right? That's not good. And you don't want it to be so loose they're just all over the place. So somewhere in the middle there, but that's pretty loose, honestly. So when you, like, if you have scissors that are super curved, sometimes you can even see through them. So, like, between the blades, I mean. You can on these. So that means that you have to apply that pressure with your thumb in the opposite direction to cause the two blades to come close enough to connect to actually cut the hair. So that's how your scissors work. And if you're left-handed, it's the exact same thing, just flipped and on the other side, okay? I'm right-handed, so I'm sorry. I don't have left-handed scissors. Well, I do have some of these that are flippers, but no need for me to try and do that. I can't do it, but hopefully you all get the gist off this. So my 2 fingers up here kind of just wrap around just like that to the pivot point. So it's important to know what style scissor fits your hand best. These are a 30-70 shear. And by that means that the handle is 30% and the blade is 70%. A lot of scissors will be like a 50-50 shear, and that means that your pivot point is moved up and it's 50% blade, 50% handle. If you have larger hands, a 50-50 shear might fit your hand a lot better and make this easier for you. If you have smaller hands, a 30-70 shear might better fit you. That's just something that I recommend going to shows and being able to pick scissors up and hold them to figure out, because other than that, you're just kind of buying and sending back and trying to figure out what fits your hand best. But that's why I really love going to shows, because I get to test everything and pick everything up and see how I like them and how they work with myself, because your scissors really need to be an extension to your hand. All right, so on to the next thing. My 2 fingers here kind of wrap around and kind of create a nice little cushion, so that way I'm holding the scissor up, right? And I've got good control of it. If you notice as I'm doing this, only my thumb is moving, okay? So this is probably one of the hardest things to learn when you're scissoring, is to only move your thumb. And I know that's completely against everything you have ever been taught since you were like in kindergarten with children's scissors, okay? But you can only move your thumb to be able to do this correctly, and your other blade should not move. If you have trouble with this, I suggest practicing all the time, okay? So I would actually tell people to put their hand on top, their other hand, and add downward pressure with the blade. That way that blade is not moving and you're just moving the thumb blade, the bottom blade. So, I mean, just do it slowly until you get the hang of it. And then soon enough you can really do it with your grooms and make for that seamless cut across your dog. I think the only other thing I've got, well, actually I lied, a couple things. So you really don't want to move your wrist around too much. You want to try and keep your wrist stabilized, but you can move it this way. You just don't want like hand in the cookie jar, right? Because doing this, I have way less control and other than this. Like if I do this and I'm scissoring over something, I have way more stability over my shear versus doing this. It's, you know, it's kind of bounces. And that's what I was getting ready to talk about, is when you're scissoring on a dog, you don't want to bounce your scissors. And by that, I mean, you want this to be one motion as you're cutting. One motion, right? You don't want to like cut and then come back and then like come in and cut. I'm very exaggerating, but doing that is going to cause your dog to have different links kind of all over, and it creates it to like really, really difficult to make it look like that picture perfect stuffed animal smooth all over poodle you're trying to groom. You really just want that real smooth motion, and doing that, it gets hard to get used to. You have to practice, and you can practice it even without a dog. Like, here's a roll of paper towels. Practice going up and down without cutting and pulling away. That's what's going to cause you problems. You want to just be able to do it in one swift motion. And I mean, you can literally practice it with anything. And then you can go the other way and practice it going around. Those are all great things. Now, I know I'm sitting down because I'm talking to you all, but while you're learning to scissor, it's really, really important to stand up, because your center of gravity is where? In your center, right? So if you actually are able to learn with your hand not moving, so you're scissoring around an object, but you're not going to move your arm, you're just going to move your thumb, and you move your body around the object, then you're really getting used to keeping your scissors in one spot, and that kind of makes it a lot of an easier transition into being able to do this in a smooth motion. versus, like I said, the bouncing, the cutting, and going in and out, because that's what makes your grooms uneven. Alright guys, that's all I've got for you today. Hopefully that really helped somebody out there. Even if you already knew how to hold your scissors correctly, maybe you weren't still positive on like just moving your thumb or keeping it straight as you're moving across objects. You know, there's a bunch of different things goes into scissoring on dogs, and it's a lot more complicated than the public realizes. So and even a lot of groomers don't know. So I wanted to just hop on and give you all the knowledge that I have about using your scissors, so that way they can become an extension to your hand and help you versus something you're scared of that you don't like to do, because it really is a lot of fun. And it really allows you to put a lot of different creativity in your grooms and be able to fix flaws in your dogs, and that's a topic for another day, but it just opens up a lot of doors for you if you can get this down, and it just takes practice. So hopefully that was helpful. Make sure you follow me on Instagram. I post all my stuff on there, so when new videos come up on YouTube, I put it on my story and you can immediately see it, or you can also subscribe and then you'll be notified right away when I post a new video, and I would really appreciate it. And you can also like this video, and I think that's it though. So make sure you check out my other video on clipper maintenance and scissor maintenance, so that way I show you all how to clean your scissors and oil your scissors. Something I didn't mention in that video though that just hit me was, I know some groomers will actually take their scissors apart. Do not do that, because your scissors are like balanced when they come from manufacturers, and unless you're like a sharpener like tech person, you shouldn't be like taking all the pieces apart and trying to put them back together, because when a scissor gets put back together, it has to be balanced. And believe me, I don't know how to do that, so you probably don't either. But if you do, go for it, but I really don't suggest it. Don't sit here and take your pieces apart, because it's going to ruin your scissors. Let the pros handle that. But it does talk about oiling your scissors and cleaning your scissors and how to take care of them. But that covers everything. So until next time guys, I will talk to you later. Thanks. Bye.